Forward, toward you, dear Casey. As I type this, the snow is stacking up the window pane in a vertical pile of white that threatens to block out my entire view of the outside world. I'd be happy for an ant colony to take up residence there and create little tunnels so I can watch them move and work against the glass. I know that's not going to happen, but you can see the odd places my mind has already started wandering to. I've cooked several meals using my freezer stash, eating leftovers on the following days. Be warned, after this deployment, I might never want to cook chili or beef stew again. I'll have to use the recipes in the cookbooks we got at our kitchen shower, but right now I have no desire to cook anything special for me. I'm trying to make the house look more homey, but it hasn't improved much since you left 4 weeks ago. The vanilla walls with their scattered nail holes feel like they belong to someone else. I did hang our wedding canvas, though, and I find myself staring at it for long periods of time. I wish you were here. I wake up in the middle of the night and see your empty pillow. I curl up in a ball, squeeze my eyes shut, and pretend you're holding me again. I can't wait for that day. I hope you're dreaming of me right now. All my love, Sarah. She clicked send as the tears spilled over. I'm sorry I'm not more positive, she whispered to the void. Hey Sarah, I love you, I love you, I love you. Don't forget that. I'll be home snuggling you on the couch before you know it. Time is flying here. We work long, hard hours on the flight line with only half a day of rest on Sundays, but there's a frenetic energy that keeps everyone moving and positive, somehow. Maybe because we have such a singular, unified mission. I don't know, but the work seems more fun here in Afghanistan, despite it being frickin' cold. I'm sure it's worse for you in North Dakota, though, with all that snow. Hey, Jeff said his wife is in a spouse club on base. Maybe you could meet up with them and make some new friends. How is the job hunt going? Gotta run, forever yours, Casey. He pulled on his helmet and ran to the hallway as the rocket sirens wailed. Dear Casey, I'm so glad the work is fulfilling for you there. I wish I could say the same. The job hunt is going. Most stores told me they won't do any hiring until the spring. I left applications at a couple of places. And one manager flat out told me it wasn't worth her time to train someone who might move in a year or two. Is that even legal? Either way. It was super discouraging. But I did sell 2 scarves through my Etsy store, so that's something. I met up with 3 of the wives in the spouse group for lunch yesterday. They were kind and asked questions about us, but then moved on to discussing their annual fundraiser. I still managed to feel lonely. They didn't do anything wrong, but I was longing for the comfort of a friend who really knows me without asking for a dry list of hobbies and background info. I know, I'll give them another chance. I can hear you across the ocean. I'm meeting up with them again next week. In other news, a colony of ants has moved into the kitchen wall. Remember how I said I'd love to watch ants in the window? Well, my wish was granted, sort of. I guess they needed shelter from the bitter cold, which is relentless, so I can't really blame them. And I'm honestly lonely enough to be grateful for any company I can get. I sound pathetic. When the quiet in the house gets too unnerving, I turn up the music really loud and have a crazy dance party no matter my mood. I've done some angry air guitar, head-banging moves, tearful snotty-nosed ballet, smiley happy dances, and a lot of jumping around for no other reason than to move my body. It's my most regular form of exercise, and the ants must enjoy the show. I'll show you my best moves when you get home. Still crazy in love, Sarah. Her eyes pricked with tears, but this time she blinked them away and headed to the speaker to turn up the music. Hey Sarah, I love picturing you dancing in the kitchen. I think of you all the time. Life on base has been really stressful the last few weeks, so it's been hard to write. We've seen a huge uptick in rocket attacks, which is uncommon for the winter months. I feel on edge 24/7, and I'm not sleeping well. Just counting the days till I see you again. Will you send me a new picture of you? Forever yours, Casey. he shut the laptop and covered his face with his hands, desperate to block out the images of what he saw earlier in the day. Dear Casey, I've been praying for you every day since your last email. I'm so proud of you for serving our country and working so hard out there. I still can't believe how lucky I am to be your wife. Keep pushing forward. We'll get through this deployment one day at a time, and then we'll be reunited. My heart expands thinking of how joyful I will be on that day.
The end of time. Well, Gabriel, it seems the clocks have stopped. Yes, Michael, this is the moment for which we have been waiting. Time to get started. Ah, the new arrivals. So many, and just as expected. Where were you when the button was pushed? The red button that ended the world. I was sitting at my kitchen table watching the news while eating oatmeal and trying not to be late for work. My wife had just rushed out the door, and the kids didn't miss the bus that day. I heard a noise and felt a wave of heat, and then all turned black like curtains closing after a Broadway show. I think Cats was the last show we caught. It was off Broadway, but good as far as I know. I'm here now taking it all in. The sky is a shade other than I've ever seen. The ground underfoot lets me sink in. The air is less a necessity than a presence, and there are new colors that I cannot describe. It seems to be both day and night, but the night is like a memory, a warm blanket. An afterthought. While I haven't seen my family yet, I know that they are here, exploring and resting. Rest. When have I ever truly experienced this thing called rest? Sleep was usually a nightmare, and relaxing involved a lot of work. Packing for a trip, unpacking for the trip, trying to escape home. I spent so much time trying not to think and attempting to please everyone. I was a broken cup trying to refill. I recall the moment I got here. The moment I arrived, my mind stopped chattering like an unwanted guest invited to dinner. I had no idea that I had been living with this second self. Here, my thoughts are still my own, but they are fully connected to what I can only call goodness. Down there, fear was my shadow. They all seem content and pleased. Yes, Michael, they do. Do you suppose we can take a break now, Gabriel, now? Very funny, Michael, I don't sleep now, but I never tire. I'm never hungry but always satisfied. There are many others, and when we meet eyes, we have this feeling that we know we can fly. On Earth I sometimes could fly in my dreams, and now I feel sure it is possible. Just like on Earth, there are innumerable plants and animals everywhere, but, here, they all have an even more exceptional vibrancy. Also, they are unscathed and untouched by human hand. Here, no one is trying to label and eat them. The stars are unnamed, vast and fully comprehended, and people are not the same at all but admired for their differences, just like on Earth. Everyone is a set of fingerprints, a new soul, a unique being, but, here, the majesty of creation is not inhibited by the slow crawl of skepticism. Many there could not see up, only beneath. I know that there will be no more war. I also know that all wars were a waste of skin and blood and sacrifice. People were small. They swarmed and they sweated. They strove and forsook. They could not see. They could not fully breathe. They pushed down joy and called it mania. They made despair a medal of honor. Any glimpse of exuberance was mistaken as madness. Pills were given to stifle such unsavory notions. Where were you when they pushed the red button? Were you trapped in your cubicle, waiting for the bus, locked up in jail, watching a sitcom? Did you expect it? Did you see it coming? I think I was somewhere in between. Down there we were all perpetually underfoot, trampled and abused by an unseen enemy who tricked us into being enemies of one another. My brother used to call our bodies meat suits. It made me laugh but resonated. I had glimpses of this realm when I was trapped in my skin, my meat suit, moments of clarity and peace. Where were you the last moment? What happened when you entered the gates? Did you finally feel free of your meat suit? Did you look back and see for the first time I had a friend down there who never got a full taste of this place. He sunk and believed he would never rise. He is here now. He tells me that he was robbed of his moments and tricked into misery by the liar. He says the liar's main job was to villainize the maker and to glorify evil acts. When I first woke up from the slumber phase, it dawned on me that the book was a guide to freedom and that the liar had twisted it into a chore. He worked to make all things opposite. God is a scary monster, bad things are fun, good things are dull, church is a boring building and the devil is a cartoon character. Essentially, he wanted us to think that God was out to get us and that he, the liar, was a myth. All of words in the book were an instruction manual. A road map to escape the maze. I have this inclination that I was formerly in a trap, an animal in the forest caught by a hungry hunter. I used to wonder how long before the hunter showed up. Now, I know that the hunter could not devour me and the trap was a trick. Also, the trap was unlocked and it was my mind. People who loved me said I didn't have to live there anymore.